celebration that we're witnessing, that was the key. Organizations, 6 civil rights organizations, collaborating with one another. Sometimes they didn't like one another. Please, but they carried this country for a whole decade. That's the transformation of America. It's the black people who created America. Martin Luther King is the founding father of the America that you know if you're under 40, 45 years old. That's who created that America. George Washington and Jefferson and others created the other America, who's slavery.
Yes.
They got rid of the last vestige of slavery. Black people won that battle. They didn't win the war. They won the battle. The battle over legal humiliation, legal degradation, legal disrespect for people. I spent the first 17 years of my life in that system, so I don't need to read a book about it. Right. I know what it tells the people's mind and spirit and soul. It's crushing. Segregation was an evil thing. You can say segregation. You know, it's like a word that covers 1,000%. It was one of the most evil systems in the world ever constructed. And black people survived it. And these brave men, women, and children brought down the walls of segregation. Children as young as 8 years old went to jail. The youth were the energy of that movement. The Rap Browns, the Stokely Carmichaels, and Ruby Doris Robinson, and tons of people. I happen to know some of them. Were young people. The civil rights movement was intergenerational. It was not what we talk about today, the split between the old and young people. Carmichael, you can see right there with King and those. Ruby Doris Robinson, these brave women who went to jail about 30 times, raped, all that for us. I mean, we are the heroic people of this era. Right. Too bad black people in generality don't know anything about it.
Right.
I'm talking about people who witnessed it, who were innocent. They don't know that this is the most, even the, remember, people in the power structure are admitting that now, that black Americans changed this country for everybody. It freed the South. When I left the South in 1957, part of the South was like a third world country. These black people who freed up the South got the captains of industry to tell those knucklehead racists, look, you open up, you got a huge market here. All you got to do is, then we'll bring McDonald's, and we'll bring Burger King, and we'll bring all this. They went down and stuff. That's why the South is the fastest growing part of the American economy. It's the Sun Belt. That's where that word came from. Everybody used to go there. A long time ago, when I lived in Florida, only the elderly used to come down there. But everybody comes to Florida. It's because black people broke the back of segregation. Don't forget that. You're the real heroes in this country. You're the people who made it a better country. Whether you know anything about that or not, black people changed the country. They always have been at the center of change. Civil War eliminated slavery. You know, this country was founded in 1787. It was on our backs. That's right. That's right. That the original social wealth came about. That's why George Washington and Thomas Jefferson those were rich. Because two things make people rich: land and labor. And labor is the source of all wealth. We built everything, including the capital. But we don't know this. That's why you're meeting what? What I hope and pray is this won't be the last one. Some people call us crisis-oriented people. You know, we respond to a crisis and raise all kind of cane oratorically. And then after it's over, we back off and we go back to business. You can't let that happen, man. We can't let another generation of children get lost. We can beat the gang thing. I believe that. Yeah. How can you beat it? You can beat the gang thing. We can beat the drug thing. How can you? What are you talking about? We are people. You know, people in power don't bring around change. It's the people with power on the ground. That's what changed this country. No government ever changed the country. No government initiates social movements. Social movements make government respond to it. That's what happened in the 60s. We made Lyndon B. Johnson say, what? We shall overcome. That's our theme. The President of the United States saying, we shall overcome. Because he was mimicking Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was the leader of the United States of America for 10 of the 13 years of his public life.
All right now.
It wasn't a government. They were following him. He was the head of the chief head of a mass movement. He is the father of, he and Malcolm, or whoever you want to put there, of the democracy that you know. This wasn't here. I'm here to tell you. And we need to know that. It's a source of inspiration, of strength. You understand? And it's based on the same thing that Frederick Douglass taught us many years ago. Never forget this. Struggle is life, life is struggle. Anything that grows, struggle. Anything. That's the law of nature. And when Frederick Douglass taught this lesson, it was for all time. You can't cap it. You cannot say it any better than he wrote just before the Civil War. He was an abolitionist. And he taught this thing about being free, how to get free. So the whole history of the progress of human liberty shows that all concessions yet made, I hope you understand these words, yet made to our august claims have been born of earnest struggle. The conflict must be exciting, agitating, and all-absorbing. For the time being, putting all other tumults to silence, it must do this or it does nothing. For if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Men who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing the ground. Woo! They want the rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean's majestic waves without the awful roar of its mighty waters.
Yes.
The struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but there must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without man. It never did, and it never will. You find out what a people will submit to, and you will have found out the exact amount of oppression and wrong that will be imposed upon them, and these will continue until they're restricted by words or blows or both. The limits of black men and black women will be held at the north, hunted and flogged at the south, so long as they submit to these devilish outrages and make no resistance, either moral or physical. Men and women may not get all that they pay for in this world, but they sure as hell must pay for all that they get. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.